or static, the static bit, right? Because it's not so static; it's actually dynamic, but that's a bad naming. You call it static electricity. It's a horrible naming convention, but it's okay. It's dynamic. What they just
Well,
call
yeah,
static.
you're,
It's just
like, I
stuck
mean,
on shit, I guess.
you're trying to deal with the notion of like describing electricity in motion versus like in its like what chemical potential, like in the situation of a battery.
Or just take it to a spinning magnet. Take it to the way we generate it today. Like this is where you get the same exact stuff. You get electricity out, but now you've ditched the chemistry, and you have it's not solid state because you're rotating it, right? But you have metal. You have two. You got essentially you got magnets in the center, or you can create it with a virtual magnet, right? An electromagnet, right?
So you're
And you
talking
just
about
got coils,
you're talking about
alternator.
you're talking about the creation of electricity through motion, essentially, like a
You
magnet
have to.
like rotating
You know,
across the coiled copper wires sort of thing, like the classic motor.
right, motion, yeah. But without the not like the inverse of a motor or a generator, you put work into the shaft and you get electricity out of the wires. Just an inverse of a motor, right? You turn the motor, now it's a generator essentially.
Yeah, I
So
follow.
like you had the alternator on your car creates tons of fucking amps. Doesn't have a single magnet in there. There's no magnets in the alternator. Take it apart. Where's the magnetism come from? Because you need to spin this magnetic field. Well, we create it via electromagnet on the center, and then we spin that. And spin the electromagnet, and you have to move the magnet. So when you move the magnet across a coil, you induce this magnetic fabric across. It jumps across, okay? And then you get electricity out of the two ends of the wire. So that's what, and we just keep on rotating it. There's no chemistry. There's just waving this fabric across a coil. So it's interesting.
Yeah, you're basically what like well, but like is it kinetic energy? So that of the magnet. Sorry, you said in the alternator there is no magnet. Um, what like
Yeah.
sorry, how does an alternator do its thing?
Electromagnet.
It's the copper coil situation, like all the
Yeah,
coiling,
it
and then
uses
what you
current from
rotate
your
what?
battery. It uses current to create a magnetic field in the windings. Then you spin it, so it will actually draw current to create the magnetic field that it needs to create a virtual magnet. Because you don't need to mine rocks and shit like that when you've got copper and you have a battery essentially. Because you can create an electromagnet and you can spin that electromagnet. Boom, same shit. Or you can go a permanent DC alternator or a permanent DC, like that's a permanent magnet alternator. Or, I'm sorry, I said DC, permanent magnet alternator or generator. Alternator would be the AC and generator is DC. But yeah, you can have both. You can
Is
go
that
with
like the
permanent
classic
magnets
car
or
alternator?
electro. I'm sorry, what?
Is that like the classic car alternator? Like you're saying, obviously there's no magnets in the classic car alternator, are there?
Yeah, the dynamo, like a north-south magnet, and you just rotate it around. They call that a dynamo. Yeah, that would be a generator. But it will give you DC. It'll give you two halves. Like, I mean, if you look at it on an oscilloscope, the current that will give you, it's like half circles, a bunch of half circles. A DC generator, because as the coil sweeps across, as the magnet sweeps across the coil, right? Um, it will have a point where it starts to be the current will be induced, right? It will start from zero, go up to maximum, fall back down to zero. But an alternator, you'll also harvest the power from the negative cycle, not only from the positive cycle.
Between two mirrors. Sorry, trying to work it out.
Yeah, it's all good. This guy breaks it down. It's okay. It's okay. It takes a little bit.
I guess it comes down to like the most interesting aspect of that is like the current actually doesn't flow through the material itself. It seems to be sort of being transported on the peripheries of it, but it's still being channeled by it.
Right. Yeah. You have to complete the circuit in order for any of this stuff to happen. You have to complete you have to bind the geometry. You have to close it. If it's not closed, you don't get no flow.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's why you
Yeah.
gotta switch in between it. Put your light on, off.
Yeah, close it and open it. Yep.
And what? So these guys are part of the Tesla crew. Is that right? Is that what you said? Like a Tesla research plant, like crew or something.
I think it was in front of the San Francisco Tesla Society. You really got to watch the video from the beginning. It's I just wanted to show you the bit about calculus, where he was talking about when you change speeds in your car, right? Let's say you're going at whatever constant velocity, 20 miles an hour, and you want to change speeds to 40 miles an hour. Okay, you press the gas pedal. And he graphed this, right? So he started with the simple graph. You're going at constant speed. You want to change speeds. Okay, so now when you hit the pedal, okay, something interesting happens, right? A force appears and pushes you back against your seat out of nowhere, and you feel it. Okay, and you can put a scale to weigh that behind you, and it will register something, and you can write that down. Okay, so when you graph that too, okay, according to time, in the same exact time frame, when I hit the gas pedal, this force appeared, pushed me back in my seat. Something happened to my gas tank. A cubic volume, a cube of material actually disappeared. Okay? It disappeared out of my gas tank. Do you agree or disagree? I mean, it got transformed into gas and gave me heat and the oxidation reaction, but it's physically fucking gone. It's not in my gas tank anymore. So that force appeared because that cube disappeared, actually. But in order for like all that happened because I depressed the pedal to change my velocity. So they introduces the concept of integration and differentiation. Okay, so when you integrate that change of velocity, okay, you get the acceleration, and you do that one more time, you get the cubic volume of let's say the gas that disappeared out of your gas tank. That's it, calculus, integration versus differentiation. You're like building it up dimensionally too, like as you integrate, let's say, I don't know how to explain this to you. Good. It's kind of like going from a point to a square on a piece of paper to a cube. Now extruding the cube into three-dimensional space. That would be the concept of integration. So you're going the other way around, that's differentiation. You're taking the cube, breaking it down to its projected area, and then whatever else, the points or whatever it could be. It's fundamental equation or whatever. So that's why he did it graphically. It's, trust me, no math teacher has ever fucking explained it that way. And once I've been through calculus, and I watched this video later on in my life, and I was like, oh my god, only if I watched this before, it would have made a difference the way I understood things. It's not taught that way at all. Like it is, but you have to find the right teacher, like this guy, or a great book or something you read. But college textbook, Thomas Calculus, bro, don't. It's not like that. Anyways, I'm not trying to bore everybody with this nerdy mathematical shit.
I'm pretty slow at the moment anyway. I am trying to absorb this stuff though a little bit. I don't know what it is. I am very much more orientated towards the notion of like the more culturally speaking, like the notion of like energies between people and exchange of ideas. Then this sort of stuff is kind of interesting. Trying to like knuckle it down. I mean, I do find it rather fascinating that when I like hook up my electrical systems, that I can feel that vibrational pulse going through them, as I said before. I
Oh yeah,
suppose I don't
the
know.
hum.
Like, what am I not interested in here at this point? Like, I have
It's
connected up electrical
technical.
systems, and I've had shit blow up in me. Like, I know that there's power there. Don't get me fucking wrong. It will do nasty shit.
Oh yeah, this is like trying to understand what it is, right? So we can essentially talk about Tesla at the end. Like he goes, this thing is like almost 4 hours, dude. All that to lead up
Yeah,
to
I know.
Tesla. He had to drag the crowd because he said something cool in the beginning of this lecture, I think, or another one. He's like all these Tesla events or whatever he attends, and it was like it seems like nobody knew who Tesla was. So he starts actually educating people. In order to do that, it's like, oh, okay, he has to go through a lot of basics, right?
Yeah, which is kind of why I was asking a little bit like prior.
I think your internet cut out, man. Something.
Testing, testing.
Yeah, you're
Ah,
back.
there you are. There you go.
Yeah, I gotta sort this shit out. Jumping between my computer and phone. I have been having some fun with this shit though. I can use my like my little computer device here, and like it basically like will diagnose Bluetooth shit. Although it would seem that it's caused a fucking massive havoc in my situation.
I uploaded that book, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, you bet. 4 minutes after the hour.
Say 4 minutes after the hour?
Yeah. So that's
Like a long while ago.
45
That's
minutes,
cool.
44 minutes ago.
Yeah, just double checking. So would you say like this sort of what would you say? This line of discourse is sort of it's like a substantiation of the ether, which is why it's like more critical.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. This is actually what we're dealing with. We're flowing the ether in geometric patterns. We call those circuits. But yeah. This okay. All right. Okay. Cool.
What do you
Magnet.
think of
You have a magnetic field around it. The fibrous
Mhm.
structure, the line. What the fuck is the line made out of? We call this
A
phenomenon
reflective surface?
magnetism. The line. This So if you put a piece of paper on a magnet, throw the iron filings, they all do the pattern. Okay, the iron filings are all lined up in space. Okay, to this line of force, if you want to call it that. So this thing that they're lined up to, what is it made out of? Whoever figured that out?
Yeah, so it's this
Right.
material
And then
substantial aspect. Okay.
this spongy shit. Right. We call it essentially this becomes the ether. This is the ether. You can say polarized.
I see your
Okay.
angle. Okay, cool. Yep,
This is
yep,
the
yep, yep.
ether. This is the ether in flow, in motion, doing something, and giving you magnetism. Okay. It's
Oh, because you need the
made out of
substance.
something. You can feel this
Yeah.
jelly. Yeah, you need something. You can feel this. There's something pushing the magnets apart. You try to stick like poles together. What is this stuff? It's jelly,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know. They just call it magnetism. Put a label on it. Move on, right? It works. We can build devices that use that concept. What is it though?
Well, I mean that's interesting.
They'll try to
in
tell you
comparison.
electrons,
What are
protons at the
what do
end.
the retards tell you about it? As far as
I don't
like
know.
like the deniers.
So there's something I think nice. I actually learned it in school, like which is fucking out of weird. In college, like, look, dude, if you look up something scientific and they're not settled, there's 10 different explanations for what it is. Nobody knows. You're free to come up with your own. Okay. So like it takes a decent professor to tell you that statement. Once you get it when you're young, you're like, oh, you motherfucker, just like correct. Okay. If I give you an opinion and that guy gives you an opinion, that guy, nope, we don't actually know how, because if we do know how it works, the opinion is going to be settled and unified. It's going to be one explanation or two if there's two different phenomena that can cause the same effect, or three, but it's going to be settled. We're not going to have different opinions that we can't, substantiate. So whenever you read something scientific, let's look. What is the magnetic fiber structure made out of? Let's see. Let's see what they got. Let's see if they don't take you into quarks and shit real fast. Particles.
Yeah, true.
I'll
What is
Google it.
it?
I'll see what Google says.
I mean, what was it? I was more akin to the notion of like the principal. What do you call it? The egregores and the power of egregores. Well before this stuff, and that's just like that's even more ephemeral. The notion of like the power of influence between people. So this stuff is not even that far fetched. I do like fundamentally get what you're saying though, because this is what they like. They can't agree upon is like that the iron filings that you referred to before are shaping themselves in correlation with the magnetic presence, and what essentially you have no, or they have no, like they need a material sort of explanation for that, and they don't have one. It's just
We
that's why
need
they
like
get
an
put.
elite. We need a top 5 glober to be able to answer that, right? And let's see. Let's see if the top 5
Yeah,
globers
what are you
have a
talking like in
consistent
Jeremy
answer
sort
on it.
of like the way he like talks about it? That's pretty funny. In the top
Just
5.
whomever, whomever you think top 5
Get
are.
Ruhif
Go
in
ahead,
here.
ask
See
him
what
them.
he says.
Yeah.
It's one
Oh,
angle, so
what's magnetism made out of?
he calls
Magnetism.
himself a top glover.
Let's go. Or any other top 5.
Yeah, but even if you look at quantum mechanics, all they're really doing is applying mass to some kind of charge. But that is basically just energy taking up space. So why don't they treat it just as a volume?
You want them to treat energy as a volume?
Yeah, because in the end, it's something taking its place in time and space itself. It's creating its space by its volume.
I asked Mord1 in chat. I think, bro, I think he's a #1 spot contender for sure.
Yeah, Mod 1's usually, I mean, people accuse him of being all sorts of things, but I've found that he's pretty
He's cool.
reasonable in his sort of antagonism. I think it was Merle apparently that convinced him of something more like psycho-spiritual. So could imply that he's sort of at least amenable to alternative sort of philosophies. And that alone is like enough.
Yeah, but if you just look at the gyro, a mechanical gyro used to have bearings and gears. These days in airplanes, it's an electronic gyro. That should tell you that it's electromagnetic in nature.
I mean, does this like this sort of ethos also lends itself a little bit more to the notion of like why the gyro, you know, seems to sort of rotate with the field of the Earth? Does it not?
If you want
But
that, you want that. I got you on quantum. I'm sorry, Kurt. You want to go with quantum mechanics? Shorter video, might be 10 minutes, but ultra mind-boggling.
yeah, but about that gyro, what everybody is forgetting, the gyro has a horizontal and a vertical plane, just as the Earth has. And it's that tangential drift what's creating that lift in between. It's a torque in between the horizontal and vertical plane around the axis that is going through that, what generates that lift and drift to the west.
Yeah, but is there not like a field that's I mean, okay, so like are you guys of the intuition or the interpretation that at least like I mean, I'm standing here stationary on the Earth. Apparently you're polar opposite in the southern hemisphere. We have a field that is basically like just passing through the ether, however you want to refer to it.
Yeah, but you got the waters moving horizontally to the world, and you got the jet streams and everything moving vertical over the world. So you got two fields interacting basically together with the lands. Then you have those two cylinders to create basically a Taylor instability in the system, which would give you all the strange currents in the different parts.
Well, okay. I mean, don't mind me. That's a complication of the issue for me, like fundamentally. Maybe it needs to be considered, but I don't see the jet streams apparently flying above us or some shit.
Here, I got you on. This material is really good. Okay. I try to keep this guy's material kind of close to me. That way, because it's powerful, you can shut down all global arguments with it. But you have to go quantum mechanics in the quantum field and drag them into the quantum field a little bit. And I'm yet to fully understand all of it. It takes a minute, just like the electricity stuff. There's a lot to it. I know some fundamentals, but not all of it to be able to actually argue the arguments, use the arguments against them. So there's interesting stuff in this video. Let's go.
No, hey, you guys down? Hey, 15 minutes is what you got. I am getting towards the end of
Go.
my tether. It's 1 a.m. here, so I'll press play on this and chill out
Alright.
to it, and then yeah.
Sounds good.
For an evolutionist.
Talk amongst yourselves. You'll be right. I've had
You
enough
shut
for one
Alright,
evening.
man.
Later.
You have a good night, man. Peace.
Yeah, thanks.
Night,
Thanks for
Ricky.
sharing that.
Just kidding, Ricksky. See you, buddy.
You bet, man. Peace, bro.
Doesn't matter who it is, if it's an atheist or a scientist, rest assured, in their explanations regarding the creation of the universe, or things like the ether, they're going to invoke language that's fit for describing divinity every time. It's always fun. Look for it.
Wait, you're gonna make me ask the question? Define divinity.
What do you mean? So let's go with the explanation of how, like, a naturalist or whatever, or an evolutionist would be like, oh, how did life come about? They'd be like, well, I'm going to go ahead and invoke an infinite amount of time. And you're like, okay, infinity, divine, got it. I'm going to invoke a perfect set of circumstances, and then I'm going to invoke spontaneous organization. Oh, sounds quite divine to me. So we've got infinity, we've got perfection, and then we've got spontaneous organization of a disorganized system. Okay.
I mean, I'll give you that. It's more than I was expecting.
I'm sorry, Rick, what was that?
Your definition of divinity was more than I was expecting.
It was what? I didn't hear the last word. It was sorry.
Am I coming
He said,
through wrong?
he said it was more than he was expecting.
Yeah, I might be mumbling. I am getting pretty late in the evening. Appreciate the correction or the whatever it is. I'll shut up now. Like this is yeah, this is terrible. My bad.
That's all right.
It's interesting in both science and in religion, when you're debating against a relativist or an atheist, they're going to use language fit for describing divinity to explain their position. It happens every time. It's pretty funny. You just got to know what to look for. I kind of just gave it to you right there, infinite amounts of time, perfect conditions, spontaneous organization of a system, We'll use all the descriptors, but we're just no, it ain't that though. It looks like a horse and it smells like a horse and you ride it like a horse, but it ain't a horse.
Sounds like cog dish to me.
You guys read his book?
Thank you.
I just watched a few clips of MC2 and making fun of it.
Bro, he's saying that you can't, if you have the medium rotating with the floor, you don't get you can't have the Coriolis effect.
Yeah, well, he's just an idiot.
How do you feel about the book, Jeremy?
It's not a rebuttal, dude.
Jeremy, how do you feel about the book?
I don't fucking read books. What do you like? Do you
I,
know who I am?
understand you don't. I get you don't read books. My question was, how do you feel about the book?
I haven't read it, Sean.
I didn't ask if you read it or how you felt about what you read in the book.
How do I feel about a book I haven't read?
Yeah,
How do you answer that?
How do you feel about Quantum Eraser releasing a book about flat Earth?
I mean, I have no thoughts on it. It doesn't.
Oh.
I don't
Hold
know.
on, Jeremy, do you
It's not a
agree
good
with him?
thing. Do you think it's a good thing for flat Earth?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Jeremy,
No,
do
I
you
don't
agree with
agree
him
with. No,
on that claim about the you can't have Coriolis if
no,
the? Oh, okay. You
no,
made it sound like you believed it.
nope.
Well, that's why I
If you
asked
have
you.
a non-inertial frame, you're gonna have it if you have movement.
So I forgot you're a Coriolis flat earther.
What?
That's how it was kind of like when I was like an
What does that
evolutionary
mean?
flat
What
earther.
does a Coriolis flat earther mean?
Well, I don't know if
Because
Jeremy necessarily
99%.
believes in the. Yeah, Jeremy doesn't believe in the Coriolis on the globe Earth. He just believes you have Coriolis on a merry-go-round.
No,
Well,
I
that's the
believe on
thing.
it. I believe in it on the globe. I believe it on the globe.
The functions of Coriolis, he believes. Therefore, is what I mean.
No, it's called the kinematic equivalence. Have you ever heard of that
Oh,
before?
I see where this is going. Hey, Jeremy, I'm happy I just got to say hi. Happy you sound happy as fuck. You have a good one, my friend.
Shit's about to get real. Don't leave now.
Yeah, no, I am. I don't care for flat Earth. I told you.
Don't leave now, bro.
Hey, Jeremy, legs all day, bro.
Yeah,
You going to
see
the
you,
gym,
Pop.
skipping leg day?
Guys skip brain day. Let's come here and talk some shit and hope nobody knows what they're talking about so he can sound smart. Funny guy. I can see why he likes you, though, Jeremy. At least he's not that dumb.
Now you guys would have the Coriolis on the globe. I think you do get a. In fact, I know you do get the Coriolis effect if you have the medium rotating with the ground.
Correct. Yeah, kinematic
Mm.
equivalence. Invoking ether, it's the same thing. Yeah, you need
Well,
obviously.
QE's been running around saying you can't have the Coriolis if the medium's rotating with the ground or
Yeah,
some
he's an
shit
idiot.
like that.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Why people always accuse me of being a follower of him too, and I don't even like the guy. And I
That's your
know that
boy.
him and his buddies are anti-ether for whatever reason. So that basically just means they're stupid. Who's the other guy? It's a flat earther, but he's anti-ether too. I don't know. I don't like talking about people per se, but anybody that claims flat Earth that doesn't at least acknowledge it is sorely inadequate.
Did Stunja claim that he was like we know that he was like a nutritionalist in the army. He claims he was like in special forces. I mean, somebody should pull that guy's record and actually see if any of the shit he says is true. I'm sure that guy's a total grifter.
Yeah, special forces would probably be really easy to figure out because, like, army and military are really huge, but special forces, in comparison, is quite a small community.
Yeah, but who cares what he did, though? Who cares what he did, dude? It's all about what the words that are coming out of their mouths. Like, I don't care if he was a physicist for the army or a fucking cook or the guy that cleaned the deck. Who cares?
Yeah, but you should call out, like people that claim certain achievements and did not achieve those.
What's he
Yeah,
claiming? What does he claim? All we know is
he
some
claims he was
Sid J.
special forces.
Yeah, just to go through
Where?
selection to go through selection. You know,
Where
a
did he
lot of
say
people.
that,
Claimed it in the
Jake?
past. He's
When?
claimed it in the past on 24/7.
Who is this guy? What's his name?
John
QE.
Stunja, QE.
I really hope that's not the case. I really don't like stolen valor.
Yeah, we'll have to do some digging.
I don't want to accuse the guy or anything. I have no idea if he served our country. God bless him. You know,
No, he did. He was
It
like
doesn't.
you could Google him. He was a nutritionalist for the army, I believe it was.
nutritional.
Like he was like a nutrition. Yeah.
It doesn't matter though. I'm a janitor. Like, so what? Who cares if he was a cook, a janitor, the guy who fucking loaded the guns? Like,
Yeah, but if you
it's
said
irrelevant.
not only was I a janitor at this school, I also worked for the CIA and was doing espionage for the government to catch spies or something, then we're like, oh yeah, this Jeremy guy, he's just full of shit. He's just a grifting, lying piece of shit, right? Like that's a big like that influences like everything about everything you say, right? Like, why would I believe anything you say if you're going to tell me some bullshit about how you were a janitor and you worked for the CIA?
He was on that under siege duty. You know, like I'm a cook, but I'll fuck you up.
Awesome movie, by the way.
And the other thing is, it's like
It
perfectly
just
respectable to have any job like in the military and you do your service, and it's like that's perfectly respectable. You don't have to go on and fucking tell some bullshit about how you were an SF and you fucking killed people with your bare hands, you know, in black ops in some foreign country. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, was he or no? Who knows if he even said that? Like, I don't. This whole story is like, I don't know why we're even going down this. Did he actually say that? Do you have any recording of him saying that?
I don't have a recording of it now.
From what I've seen, most people that says stuff like that didn't do it. Because most people that did do stuff like that never talk about it.
I mean, all I was
Yeah,
saying is that he did a whole fucking stream. We went over it multiple times. I can't remember it verbatim, but he was basically saying that if the medium's rotating, you don't get Coriolis.
I'd like to
Like on a
respond. Yeah,
globe, like on a
I
globe, you want to.
go for it.
I got.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't really talk about it. I just have an old Swick pen as my fucking avatar.
I don't think that the medium inside the thing would have anything to do with Coriolis, because Coriolis is caused by a difference in speed between the outside edge of a rotating object and as you move across it towards the center of it, like a record. If something rolls from the inside of a record, the inside near the center of the record is moving slower than the main outside edge of the record. You know, the outside edge is moving quite a bit faster than the part right near the center. So when a ball leaves the center, it has the tangential speed of the center, but as it goes out, it encounters a faster speed because the record, as it moves towards, as the ball rolls towards the edge of the record, the outside of the record, it's entering an area, it's constantly entering an area that's going faster and faster and faster. So since it's not maintained, it's not speeding up to match that speed, it's just moving straight, it will give it a curvature to it. That's what causes Coriolis, not the medium that it's in, not the air or something floating around in it. It's the speed difference that it encounters between the middle and the outside edge. Or in the Earth's rotational idea, it would be for where the equator would be moving much faster than the poles. So as something moves around, it encounters that same difference in speed. As the same change in speed, I should say, causing Coriolis. That's what that video I keep posting that nobody ever watches explains.
Hey, Cole, aren't you supposed to be breaking up rocks, mate?
No, not today. I'm off work today. Today's Sunday.
Hey, though, I'm going into the science department and asking them if they can have Coriolis if the medium's rotating.
Of course you can't, bro. I can't believe you can't understand that, bro. You need 2 reference frames, man. How many times do we have to go through this, bro?
See, Jake,
Man,
he's saying you can't do it. He's saying you can't do it. Get Coriolis if the medium's rotating.
Obviously, you need 2 reference frames, bro. I mean, why is that even a
I
thought in your
tried
head?
telling him.
Are you serious? Like, there's guys that believe that you don't need 2 reference frames?
Is that what you're talking about?
Sorry?
Yeah, they're saying you can't
You
get Coriolis if the medium's rotating. Yeah.
Well, that's just stupid because obviously, if you have something that's very dense with a low cross-sectional area to aerodynamic drag, it's going to move independently of the. It's not going to immediately just as it moves into stronger and stronger wind, which is effectively how the Coriolis would manifest to the projectile. It's obviously not just going to be deviated off its course entirely, right? Like a bullet flying through the air in a crosswind, yeah, it could deviate it a little bit, but the bullet doesn't suddenly pick up all the speed of the crosswind and move and match its velocity with the crosswind, right? The inertia of the bullet is only very slightly changing the trajectory of the bullet. So it's just a dumb explanation because and that's why in a Coriolis, that's why a Coriolis would affect, it will affect like the shell fired from a cannon a lot stronger than like, a paper airplane being thrown, right? Because the
Google
paper
says
airplane.
it affects masses that are heavier and moving slower over long distances.
I posted a thing on the Coriolis. Maybe, Jake, you should check into it and see the requirement is a rotating and non-rotating reference frame. So what you said is absolutely not correct, bro.
Completely correct.
Just read up on
and I
it. There's
double,
a diagram there showing it, how it looks from a non-rotating reference frame and a rotating reference frame. I mean, that's child's play. That's step 1.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the fact that the atmosphere moves with the Earth doesn't means that you don't have to have Coriolis.
Yeah, because then it's one reference frame, bro. Don't you understand that?
You have Coriolis on a merry-go-round. The atmosphere, even if you had a merry-go-round that was enclosed, where the air inside the merry-go-round was moving around with the merry-go-round, you would still have Coriolis.
No, you wouldn't, bro. No, you wouldn't. This is the part that maybe you're not getting.
You think that if we were in a merry-go-round that was like in a sealed cylinder where it had been spinning for a while and the air inside the cylinder was also spinning with the merry-go-round, that if I threw a lead ball to you, it wouldn't be deflected?
No, because it would fall. But listen, man, this is what you're not getting. You need 2 reference frames. It's clearly stated in the explanation. I posted it. You can read it for yourself. You need 2 reference frame, one inertial and one non-inertial. And what you're talking about, there's only a non-inertial reference frame. There is no inertial reference frame if the Atmos is spinning with the merry-go-round, with the Earth. There is no.
Would be the reference of the projectile that's moving. That would be the inertial reference frame. The non-inertial reference frame would be the rotating frame.
This is mind-boggling that you're not getting it, bro. I mean, I tried.
I don't know. I think it's just
You're never
silly.
going to be on the reference frame of the bullet, Jake. I don't know why you would bring that up as a reference frame.
It is pretty mind-boggling.
It's not left lane. It's child's play, bro. Just look at the diagram.
I agree with Jake, but I agree it is child's play.
You agree with Jake?
Yeah, you agree with me that if we were like in a spinning cylinder where the air is spinning as well with us, right, in which the medium is also spinning with the surface of the merry-go-round, that if I threw a lead ball to you, that it would be deflected?
That's not the issue. The issue is reference frames, bro. Reference frames.
Reference
It's very
frame is like
simple.
camera angle. You don't think that there exists a camera angle by which we could view it from the perspective of the bullet or a missile? You don't think you can have a camera on a missile?
Camera on a missile. What does that have to do with what we're talking about? We're talking about
You're
a
talking about
rotating
reference frame.
reference frame, a non-rotating reference frame, and a projectile. Now you can have an overhead view, right, as shown in the diagram that I posted. The ball appears to be traveling in a straight line. That's in the inertial reference frame. Now the dot on the bottom is the person on the merry-go-round, the non-inertial reference frame, and the ball appears to be curving. I mean, how simple is that to understand? You need two reference frames. Like that is the explanation of Coriolis. You can't change that and say no, you can do it
Yeah.
in one reference
So
frame.
if you
I mean,
so all that you would need for that top picture is you would need to have a boom with a camera looking overhead, and you would see precisely that. Right? So on the surface of the Earth, you could have a camera mounted on top of a missile tracking the missile's movement over the ground. You would have that top angle. I don't know.
well, the camera's not on the projectile, bro.
That's
The
what the reference
projectile
frame
is a
means.
third thing. It's not
The
a
reference
reference
frame is the
frame.
camera angle from the perspective of the object. You could just you can just for practical purposes, you could just change the word reference frame to camera angle, right? Because
You can
reference
do
frame
whatever you
is just
want, but
it's referencing it's the reference frame is referencing from the perspective of something else. That's what a reference frame is, right? So from the perspective of the ball, which is the top picture, right? It's moving in a straight line, but the merry-go-round is moving around it, right? From the perspective of the merry-go-round, the ball is following a curved path. The inertial, which is the top, the non-inertial rotating reference frame on the bottom.
you can try to change it all you like, bro, but it's just not going to work. I mean, sorry, man, but you're just wrong about this. There's no other way to say it.
All right, well, you can think that if you want, I see.
It's not me thinking it. It's the actual explanation of the Coriolis. I mean, I'm
No,
not making it up. You need two reference frames. You can't get away from that. You can't say one
Coriolis is
reference frame.
nothing more than the apparent deflection from a rotating frame of an object that's traveling in an inertial path. I don't
Well,
know.
we're going around in circles now. So I said my piece, you said yours. We'll leave it at that. People can judge. Just read the article and see for yourself.
Jake, they
All
also
right.
don't think. I tried telling them yesterday, bro. They also don't think though, if the object doesn't go in a straight line in the inertial frame, then they're saying that's not Coriolis either. Like if you were to just fly a drone over a merry-go-round, but you flew the drone in like a curved path in the inertial frame, they're saying that's not Coriolis now because it didn't go straight. Elbow was saying that shit yesterday. These guys have been driving me nuts with this, honestly. Everyone's against me in one way or another.
I told you what that was, bro. That was the ball, the ridges, making it curve. That's not Coriolis. Now, the path would appear different, right? From a non-rotating and a rotating reference frame. But what you described is the mechanics of the ridges of the ball causing it to curve. Has nothing to do with Coriolis.
No, I described somebody throwing a curve ball off a merry-go-round and it's not straight in the inertial frame. I described that as the Coriolis effect because the paths are different. There's a path from the non-inertial frame. There's a path from the inertial frame. It's still the Coriolis. Just because it didn't go in a straight line doesn't mean there's no Coriolis there.
I think it's just kicking the can down the road. You know, it's this reference
That,
frame,
as a
which
side.
references that other reference frame, which references that other reference frame. Just kicking the can down the road. You have one reference frame. You can only do one at a time. You can't do more than one. That makes no sense.
Jeremy's trying to add tax into that, right? But the notion of the one reference frame, that's just ridiculous. I mean, that's just not it. I mean, that's wrong. You need two reference frames. There's no way around that. Sorry.
You got one, it's the absolute reference frame. And then if that is referencing another, that's not how it works. The absolute reference frame doesn't reference another. It would reference the absolute, but ultimately you have one. You have one reference frame. That's how you treat the earth. That's how you treat the thing, whatever it is. One.
Yeah, but we're talking about the Coriolis, bro. And it clearly states you need an inertial and a non-inertial.
Why don't you ask any AI how many reference frames exist at any given moment?
Oh man, I know your track record with asking AI. I mean, you had
Gally,
four
how many reference
people.
frames do you think exist at any given moment?
You had four people trying to look up what you looked up on AI. I downloaded the book. We're control Fing to find in the book the thing that you said it said, because you said you were looking at the book, not AI. We couldn't find
So,
what you said AI said. AI is not always right.
so the answer to your question, Jake, is infinite.
See, if I said some bullshit and I said just look into AI, Left Lane, you would jump down my throat about that. Just look at
You believe
AI.
in you believe in infinity, Left Lane? You think infinity is achievable?
As a concept, it's easy to understand, unless you want to delve into some aspect of trying to make it a realization or something.
That's the
It's
whole
just used
point.
sort of a
That was,
referencing concept.
but that was the whole point. Gally said there's only one absolute reference frame, ultimately. And you guys are going off into La La Land with infinite fucking potential reference frames, even though we know.
Dyslow got it. That's why I initially called it kicking the can down the road, because you can do that infinitely. Just keep kicking the can down the road. Infinite
Yeah,
regress.
but I don't understand. I don't think there is such a thing as an absolute frame. I don't think.
Well, look at AI. I mean, you could just look at AI, see if there's such a thing as an absolute reference frame. According to Jake.
Isn't light in an absolute reference frame?
Yes.
Like in like the mainstream model, don't they consider like light to be in like the absolute reference frame or not?
Yes.
In their cosmology, yes. They made that the absolute reference frame after the Michelson-Morley experiment.
Like, no matter where light is, it's always in this absolute frame. I think I don't know. We'll have to look into it.
Yeah, I just posted what the result.
Yeah, thank you, Jake.
Posted a what? What'd you post?
The results.
Of what?
The
Ask
laws
AI,
of
is there such a
relativity.
thing as an absolute reference frame?
In the laws of relativity. Oh, wait, theory.
Which is crazy to say light is the absolute reference frame, because in their cosmology, everything is moving. There's nothing that's not moving.
Is the cosmic microwave background an absolute reference frame? Yes or no, Jake?
No.
Oh.
Not.
Okay.
Well, they also say light's moving, so that wouldn't fall into the mainstream paradigm of of it's all relative, right?
No,
It's
but they
not all
also
relative
double
because they
speak.
say lights. AI just told me lights moving, Jake. Are they right or wrong?
He just made a huge blunder. He said that the CMB is not an ultimate reference frame or an absolute reference frame.
I thought he got involved in a land war in Asia when he said that.
No, Galley's right. They do use that as an absolute reference frame. Double speak. Everything's moving except the CMB. It's all dogmatic nonsense, contradictions. That's what it is. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Jake, did Einstein ever solve Newton's bucket?
Debunk did that.
The thing Dr. Bennett put forward with the bucket.
Yep.
But that's how you know the bucket's not rotating or moving,
Yeah, I got the graphic. I'll put it
or
up
is
in
it
a
just
second.
rotating? Because you could get out a bucket of water and move with it, right? And then but it won't move. You know what I'm saying? Like if you put a bucket of water on a train, it's just all nice and level, right?
It's the spinning thing, bro, not the
It's
moving.
just spinning, All right.
The axial rotation.
Lab frame equation for Newton's bucket in the chat.
Oh, I got some real cool thing. You ever see this mini pool ball? It's like a child's pool ball, and he puts it on this spinny thing. But you could put it on like all different ways. I'm gonna post the first part of it right now. There's like 5 parts to it. He's got it labeled as the turntable paradox. I don't know if it's a real paradox or he just made that up or what it is.
So we make it to a point, just like we had computers the size of a lab, right? You'd have a computer that would take up an entire laboratory. Now we have computers in the size of your palm of your hand. So in the future, you might have an atomic clock that can fit in the size of the palm of your hand and be so rugged you could shake it, you could put it in all types of environments, and it'll actually remain in sync with other atomic clocks, debunking relativity or the theory of relativity.
All the fancy Rolexes and shit are gonna, and the APs, they're all gonna be trash because they're all just gonna have atomic clocks.
Well, potentially, right? Like the timekeeping devices, or just like all technology continues to progress and get smaller, usually on demand. But yeah, that's my theory that when the atomic clock becomes even more ruggedized, it actually debunked this theory of relativity. Because I think time is the most fundamental element of our reality, and we're not powerful enough to manipulate it. Like, okay, so you got time,
I mean,
space,
I'd
and
like to
matter.
see it done. I'd like to see it done. Hold
Yeah.
on real quick, Eden. I'd like to see it done with like a different clock. You know what I'm saying? Like something physical, like sand through an hour. Me and Napalm were talking about it one day. Like do that shit with sand through an hourglass or something.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Or the twin thing. Do the twin thing. That'd be a good one. The twin paradox. You know what I'm saying? Get the twin out. Let's see if time is really is it really doing that, or is it just something with the clock, or what's up?
Yeah. Essie, do you believe in time yet?
Absolutely not. That's another thing people have been swindled to believe. I believe. They can't even define it. Define time. I challenge anybody.
Seems like a great opportunity within science still to redefine science or correct it. But so if we have the three, right, you got time, space, and matter. They say we can't create matter. Can we create space? I don't know. Can we create time? I don't know.
It's such
But
a mind meld. It's such a joke, bro. Like, yeah, time, space, fabric, gravity. I don't know how people believe this nonsense. Like,
I know.
it is what it is.
Maybe some of the professors that actually used to debate us don't come around as much because we were hitting them with cold hard facts that it was starting to maybe challenge their belief system, and to continue to teach something that you no longer agree with would be maybe even cause like an existential crisis with someone, or like to prevent that you just stop engaging,
I would
perhaps.
love to talk to one of these bigwigs, but we'll never get the chance because we don't have enough bananas on our shirt. I mean,
All right, we got
we don't know what we didn't spend 20 years studying this. Yeah.
the PhD physicists come in here and talk to us. What do you mean? We talk to them, bro. They don't know shit. The higher up you go, the less stuff you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
So
but I mean
funny.
a well-known one, right? Like a famous one, like Green
Oh.
or one of these guys, Michikaku.
Oh wow, we should just send them an invite. Some of these guys, they're probably bored. They might come check
They
it
won't
out.
even open the mail, bro. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
These guys are in ivory towers. That's why I like Weinstein. He says, get these guys in a room with somebody that actually knows these topics, right? But they won't do it. They'll get an interview with, whatever, some PBS program where the questions are forwarded to them, and they'll never talk to a person that'll give them like good pushback. They'll never do it. Like if you ask them what's time, they're gonna say something like, "Well, it's an emergent force." Then you'll say, "What do you mean, sir? What emerges from where, sir? Where does that emerge from?" They'll be like, they won't know what to say. They'll be
I'm gonna try
exposed.
to formulate the most accurate definition of time for you. Maybe you'll agree. Give me a moment.
You know how many of these things I've seen on time? I've sat through lectures for many lectures and them talking to each other about time. They have no clue. They have no clue. They just make stuff up.
Some things
It's
are
too
hard to
funny.
define. Like if you try to define what it is to be alive, like that's kind of hard. There's things that are just hard to define, you know.
Except we are alive, right? We know there's such a thing as life. Now,
Yeah, but
what's
define it
time?
though. Define like what it is to be alive though. You're gonna run into like serious issues.
Yeah, it's tough to
Well,
define it, but I mean, time. At least you can point to a dog and say that's alive. But point to time. What are you going to point to? A clock? What
so
are you going to point to when you want to describe time? Point to something.
so there's all sorts of illusions that we have to deal with here in reality. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of Ames window. Have any ever heard of Ames window?
Yeah.
So, anyways, there's all sorts of just illusions that are basically can be broken down into like four main types. Like you got ambiguities, distortions, paradoxes, and fictions. And then you can even break those down further into like common illusions. So you got inversions, Coriolis, uh, elevator, false horizons, leans, autokinesis, graveyard spiral, and Samatogravic. I can't even pronounce it. Somatograveic. But anyways, I just thought it was interesting how they placed Coriolis into illusion. It
Interesting.
is an
It's a
illusion.
fucking illusion. Yeah, that's why it's an
It's an
illusion.
Well,
illusion.
yeah. So I just kind of want people to understand that. But this Ames window thing, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I got a 60-second video if you've never seen it. Uh, so yeah, if you don't mind, I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
I've seen this. Yeah, this is freaky, bro. He puts a thing through it, right?
Yeah, eventually.
Yo, that's fucking wild, bro. Wow.
That's insane. Yeah,
Wow, bro. What the fuck? That shit is dope. That can't be real.
It's real.
it is, bro. I've
That
seen
was
this
fun.
years
That's the
ago.
best video Dice will ever showed. I just want to say I was gonna roast you for trying to play a video right now, but it was worth it.
Just like the
That was crazy.
Coriolis. Illusion. An illusion. Well done, Dicelo.
The best thing you ever did.
Yeah, I saw that video a while back. I just couldn't remember the name of it, so I was like searching for it, and then I fucking finally found it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
bro.
back to
Corey.
the time.
Oh, time. Yeah.
Yeah, I found you a definition. Essie, did you read it? They say it's the
No,
formal definition. It's a
read it out so
non-spatial.
everybody could hear it.
Okay, so it says
Change.
here it would be like a non-physical, but a non-spatial continuum, which is a continuous dimension where events occur in irreversible succession, moving from past through to the present and into the future without possessing anything, any physical spatial dimension, such as length, width, or height.
That contradicted itself. You can't have events without these things occurring in dimensional reality. So
It's
but
nonsense.
yeah, I mean, dude, they've been looking for a time particle, dude, forever. I mean, this is how crazy these fuckers are, bro. They think there's a sound particle. They think there's a time particle. They think everything is comprised of particles, gravity particles. These guys are insane, bro. Time is not physical. I understand, like, your definition kind of gave that to a degree. But, yeah, dude, it's a fucking, ultimately a convention, dude. It's just a convention that, you know, we perceive reality through. It's things happen in time, but there is no time to be said.
Maybe it's also like a coordinate system, like highly precise. Using time, you can go to pinpoint accuracy in events in the past or whatnot. It's like some sort of coordinate system as well.
It's just a measure, dude. It's just a measure of magnitudes, essentially, dude. This is ultimately what it is, bro. It's not an actual thing, though, dude. It doesn't actually exist.
Does that description do it for you, Eden?
For me, yeah. It's a continuous dimension where events occur in irreversible succession. Moving
What's
through
a dimension? What's a dimension?
So, okay.
Is it not X, Y, Z, or is there? So T is would be the fourth dimension.
I think it's the first. First, you have time because you have to make time to make a place. Generally, you can't have a place without the time, in my opinion. So, like, time would be the ultimate.
How do you make time?
Well, we can set aside time throughout our day. I guess that could make time. I guess, but yeah, we can't physically.
You think time is beholden to your existence?
Manipulate. No, that's the thing. I don't think we are powerful enough to manipulate it. Right? In order to manipulate something, you have to have power over it, and I don't think we're strong enough to even touch that dimension. It's so fundamental. It's can't be manipulated. That's just my opinion. And interestingly enough, the Bible seems to have gotten it right in like a logical sense, right? In the beginning, which is time, God created the heaven, which would be the space, and then the earth, which would be the matter. So it would be time, space, and matter all in that order. We wouldn't have it like space, matter, and then time. It makes sense that you actually have to make
before the creation, like before God created us. Was there time then?
Well, I think so. Similar to, like, let's say we're building a computer system. We build the hardware, the case, we build the motherboard, we assemble it, we give it some power, and then now it's powered on, right? Now it has an operating clock. That clock was probably in sync with our time. Like, we designed that clock to operate within the time that we're operating within. So probably the same with the creator. He had some like sort of time, and then the time he made began, like, I guess there was initiate, like a beginning of time here.
Yeah,
And
but
now we're
didn't you
just
say
feeling
he created time in the beginning?
for this universe, I think. Like,
You
there's
got Lion
rules.
who thinks God's beholden to time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's the he has the power to manipulate time, where we don't.
No, I don't know about that. You gotta look into the scriptures more, but Lion seems to think that God's beholden to time. You'd have a conversation with him, though, in another
Yes.
time.
Nah, he says there's 3 times. His position is there's 3 different times. There's the contingent time, which is what we call the measurement. There's the passing of events, which is the thing we measure. And there's the time, which is just the ultimate amount of, alpha to the omega, beginning to the end.
Well, if we were in something like a simulation, then like the creator would be on like a different time than us. You know what I'm saying? Like they could stop it, they could go backwards, like they're like, but they're in their own time though. They still have time. It's just
You ever heard of Zeno's paradox?
the one with the crossing of the street.
I always heard it analogized with water in like a river as it passes. Like time would be the water. Like if you're standing on the edge of the river and time was the water, time like the future would be the water that is before you, that's approaching you. The current moment would be the water surrounding you, and the past would be the water that has moved past you. And the only time that ultimately exists in your reality is the present moment. There is no future and there is no past. Those are all fantasies of reality, not actual reality. But
The past was actual reality though.
it's you only have memories of that though. There's no going back in time. You know, there's only a memory of it.
We could
Well,
record it. And... Oh, go ahead.
Which is a fantasy. It says Zeno's paradox is a famous set of philosophical riddles created by the ancient Greek philosopher Zeno. Blah blah blah. So he talks a lot about space, time, and motion, and demonstrates how logical reasoning can lead to absurd conclusions. Specifically, that all movement is logically impossible. I guess one of his most famous ones is the Achilles and the tortoise, or the dichotomy paradox. Trying to get to the time paradox.
You must have been on shrooms. Did they have shrooms back then? I think. No?
Let's see. He says motion and the flow of time are impossible. They argue that because space and time can be infinitely divided, and a journey requires completing an infinite number of steps within an infinite time, or within a finite time frame. The concept is before you can reach. Concept is before you can reach a destination, you must first reach the halfway point. Before you reach the halfway point, you must reach the quarter way point. So on, and so on. Which breaks
So
down.
I guess he never traveled from Athens to Sparta, right? Like, what nonsense is this, man? Come on.
No, dude, Zeno's paradox is the one where you want to cross the street, right? You got to go halfway. So you go halfway. But then in order to get to the end of the street, you got to go halfway from that point. And then you got to go halfway from the next point. And you have to go halfway so many times that you should like theoretically never be able to cross the street because you have to do an infinite amount of halfways.
Except in reality, we cross the street every day. So that goes to the nonsense bin, right?
Well,
Some philosopher overthinking shit.
I use it as math doesn't match reality at that point because you technically should never be able to make it to the end of the street. Mathematically, you can never get to the end of the street. Just pure math.
There's only halfway points, which are infinite.
Yeah.
It's like
in
infinite
reality,
divisibility.
God, I saw.
I was just saying it's infinite divisibility essentially is what it boils down to. And that's where the paradox comes in. Quantum seems to suggest they've resolved it with concepts like the Planck length and Planck time, and they act as the universe's smallest indivisible frames. But
now, if you bring up a Planck length don't help you unless you're saying like we get it every time we do Zeno's paradox. It usually comes down to like a Planck length, and that introduces all types of fucking problems for the for the mainstream. Because it's like,
Planck
what? There's
claims
no
this
middle.
is the shortest distance. No.
Some of them will say you can cut it in half. Some of them say you won't. For the ones that say you can't cut it in half and there is no middle point of a Planck length, those people got serious fucking issues going on.
Well, this is where we start getting into 0 point energy, 0 point dimension being counter spaced. Yeah, but that's a whole nother ball of wax. I don't think we're ready to get into, but but yeah, bro. Ultimately, dude, time isn't. It's not physical, dude. You can't bend it. You can't warp it. You can't manipulate it. You can't speed it up. You can't reverse it. Well, theoretically, if you could do anything, the only thing you could do is go faster in time, but you could never go back in time. Ken seems to think you can go into the future. You can never. Like
Well,
you could speed up the progression into the future.
According to the bigwigs, Dicelo, the ones that Jake tells us, like, they've been studying it for 20, 30 years, so their opinion matters more than yours, right? According to those dudes, time, right, in the current cosmological model, which is a joke, they say that time, the past, the present, and the future all exist at the same time. That's the current cosmological model's belief in time.
That's funny you mention that, because that's actually how the biblical perception of it is. Like that's God, that's like the God reference frame, right? Is that there is no time really. Everything is just kind of happening simultaneously from his perspective. I don't know if you've ever come across that, but
that's in the
like
Bible.
Simulation shit. That's like a That's describing like a simulation right there, because there would be no, like, if you're running a simulation, you go forward, backward, pause it, speed it up, shit like that.
No, bro, at the same time. Everything's happening at the same time. There's no forward, there's no future, there's no past. It's all at the same time. If you can believe that.
Time has no bearing. Yeah, time has no bearing from like God's reference frame. I mean, at least that's how I perceive it, right? Like there is no. He sees everything from every perspective, meaning that he doesn't have to wait for time to elapse before events take place. Like everything's already happened from his reference frame. The beginning, the end, and the middle, the moment. It's all. I know it's kind of inevitable to explain from a single mortal reference, perception of it, but his reference frame includes all that.
Yeah, it's like a simulation that's already played out. It's like a simulation that's already played out. The end has already happened. You can go anywhere you want and at any point of it.
If that were the case,
to be clear, they're not referencing God here. When the scientists talk about that, they don't talk about God at all. They say this is what time is in their crazy model, pseudo model.
Well, I mean, they've got various theories that don't all coincide, but I mean, currently, I think they perceive time as, through the atomistic lens of being some sort of particle that's yet to be undiscovered, similar to that of the graviton and so on and so forth, the light particle. Yeah, they literally have a graviton particle that they're pursuing, and then there's a sound particle. I forget what they call that. That one was pretty funny.
The graviton is always my favorite. I call it the gravitron just to trigger. You guys
they
know
got
the gravitron at the park?
I think time is the chrono particle, and then sound, I can't remember what sound was. Like a sono particle or something.
Mathematically, you could treat them as entities, like instances of time. Mathematically, you could do that. That doesn't make it actual. Like, that's not an actualization. It's like mathematically, we could do like velocity, distance, time, and time is now a unit, right? But like that, they're
from a mathematical perspective, dude, it's it helps. It's usable to a degree. but it falls short, right? In that it's not actual, and there's issues with that. Like you're not going to account for everything. You're only going to account for so much within that limited frame that's apparent and not actual.
Yeah, the atomism, materialism, it goes, I mean, there's a level of alchemy in it, but Newton was an alchemist, and if everything becomes a unit, an instantiation, a being, then you can use it. So therefore we can now create an instantiation or a being and say, this is now existing. Time is now existing as a unit, as a being, as a real physical thing, and that's where they get into like.
I mean, that's fine for certain things, predictive capabilities and such. But when you start like going too far into that thought process, right, and thinking that you can now give physical attributes to something that isn't, and mend and bend and manipulate it, now you're running into like logical issues that are like completely irrational and unverifiable.
To add physicality to something metaphysical makes no sense.
You mean like gravity? The current explanation of gravity?
That's
the
what they're doing with the
warping
gravitron.
of the fabric of space-time? You mean something like that?
The fabric of space-time, the gravitron, yep.
Yeah, so it's limited, right? It's limited in the sense that it can be useful and fruitful in some aspects, but ultimately will just take you down, you know, a rabbit hole of illusion.
Well, this is what current scientific cosmology is, right? It's just calculations based on other calculations, based on false premises, and it's just a hodgepodge of nonsense when you come down to it. Big Bang, black holes, dark energy, dark matter, all that. It's all made up nonsense to conform to their belief.
I came across another video yesterday talking about black holes and what they theorized to be this event horizon type thing is actually not what's happening. I didn't actually watch it, but it looked kind of interesting. Like they're able to presume what happens at the
Black hole is another contradiction. And they even admit it's wrong mathematically because at the center of a black hole, there's infinity. So they even admit that they're wrong. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like the more you listen to them, the more you know, dive deep into them, you'll see there are a bunch of it's like people in here making up ideas, right? It's no different. The only difference is they have the credentials. That's it. And they come up with all these crazy ideas like doubling the size of the age of the universe and all this white holes, black holes, all this stuff. It's just to conform to the current Einsteinian model, which they know is wrong, but they just rejig the stuff so they can make it work. That's all it is. Einstein's idea, and he's the man, so we got to rejig everything to make it work. Even though we constantly find faults in it. It's crazy.
Well, it's a catch-22. It's a catch-22 there, Montreal, because if they did have a solution for everything, what else would they do next?